From the great storehouse of Native American legends and traditions, Reality Ghost has selected a few of the most striking and beautiful myths and legends, showing their spiritual beauty and truth. Since the days of ancient Greeks, there have been those that have maintained that eons ago, a mighty island empire existed where the waters of the Atlantic rolled, opposite the mouth of the Mediterranean Sea, 1,000 fathoms deep. This was the last remnant of the Atlantic continent, and known to the ancient world as Atlantis, the submerged island. 9,000 years before the time of Plato, according to these traditions, Atlantis was a powerful, densely populated country that extended its way to America, Africa, and major areas of what is now Europe. In the legends and stories, this land was submerged by some great volcanic upheaval, and that those who escaped to the continents of America, Europe, and Asia took with them the tradition of many stories surrounding the Deluge. Sacred writings, records on stone, and papyrus all tell the same story of all nations who agree with the same declaration and statement, that of a disaster to almost the entire planet. It was an appalling event that gave rise to the story of the Deluge that's found in religions and stories all over the world. The relatively few survivors arrived in various parts of the world where their reports of the cataclysm grew to become many of the flood traditions of the Native American people. The lost Atlantis was not a myth, but a part of the lost continent of America. Those parts of America over which it ruled were Central America, Peru, and the valley of the Mississippi, occupied by the mound builders. Many of the stone axes and arrowheads found in these burial mounds are of the same type and same system of workmanship as those made by the Aboriginal tribes in Western Europe. If we turn to the Native American legends, we'll find many stories referring to the Deluge, signifying the refugee Atlanteans who voyaged to other lands, where they became the progenitors of new societies. It's been suggested that some of the people that fled the sinking continent went west and settled there, becoming the Iroquois. Others went east to the Iberian Peninsula, then the Pyrenees, to become the Basque, while on the west coast of North Africa, then the Atlas Mountains, they became the Berbers. The native tribes of the American Northeast preserve a tribal memory of their ancestral origins on a large island in the Atlantic Ocean. After many generations, signs and portents warn the inhabitants of impending disaster. According to an Algonquin elder, it began when the earth rocked to and fro as a ship at sea. The quakes became so powerful, the island was cut loose from its fastenings, and fires of the earth came forth in flames and clouds and loud roaring. As the flotilla of refugees made good their escape, the land sank down beneath the waters to rise no more. The survivors eventually landed along the eastern seaboard of North America and married among the indigenous peoples to become the forefathers and Proto-Indian American of the Algonquin tribes. The Cherokee also preserve a deluge legend that tells of survivors arriving on the shores of Turtle Island, which is North America, from a great lodge drowned in the eastern sea. There may come a day when any one of these incredible theories about sunken continents may be given a ring of authenticity by an established orthodox figure who may decide at some future time to support the claim that such a continent existed. However, the time has come, in the name of truth and justice, when the best side of the Native Americans' true character should no longer be obscured by prejudice. And who better to support the existence of Atlantis than the Native American people themselves through their own stories and legends? In time to come, people will speak and write more about a continent that existed in the North Atlantic called Atlantis, and from which civilizations of the old and new worlds were descended. And one day, a hidden document will surface, or a newly discovered artifact, proving beyond any doubt that mankind and all his works were almost completely destroyed in one vast cataclysm. Until that time comes, we must open our minds and formulate bolder theories and continue our search. The answers we're seeking may be buried in the ground under our very feet, in the forests, the mountains, or far away among the beckoning stars.